What's up, everybody? Sean here with another Live to Roll live stream. We're here this week going to be talking about, like isolation and just dealing with hard times, loneliness, and just things like that. Plus, we have our guest here, Rachel, who had to make a move during COVID to a different state and everything. So we can talk about that kind of stuff. So, quick intro here. My name is Sean, C5, C6 quad from a snowboarding accident 17 years ago. Tom, you want to do a quick intro?
Sure. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Thanks for joining us again. I'm Tom Conaway, C5, C6 squad as well. I've been paralyzed for 24 years from an automobile accident when I was 4. And I'll toss it over to Bobby.
What's up, everyone? Looks like I was out so last week and I missed everyone, but looks like my boys had a little bit of fun after the after show. As
Yeah.
I text Sean, I said, "As Big Daddy's away, I guess the boys will play." So I thought that was pretty great.
We did have an
My name
after
is
party.
Bobby. Yeah, that was great. My name is Bobby. I'm a C56 quadriplegic. I was hurt 31 years ago. And let's move it over to our guest. Tell us your name and tell us a little bit about yourself, Rachel.
Hi, I'm Rachel. I'm a C5, C6 quadriplegic. I was injured in a car accident 2 years ago.
All right. Yeah, just your 2 year anniversary just came up, right, in November?
Yes, and it happened on my 21st birthday in
And
November.
another strange fact is me and Rachel actually have the same birthday, so she was hurt on our birthday.
November 21st.
That's right.
Don't forget.
Uh,
Is
yeah.
that
So
hard having two anniversaries on the same day? Like
It
an anniversary
is.
of your birthday and then something that big that
It's,
happened.
it's bittersweet, because it's like, how do you celebrate it? Like, because my life was almost taken from me, but it was the day I was given life. So
yeah,
it's
see,
kind of
it
like stuck.
we
I don't
always use
know.
that term, the rebirth or new life, but like
Yeah,
yours almost
life
really
in.
was like it really,
It
you
really,
started.
yeah, it almost did, yeah. But I do kind of feel like I am reborn. Like I feel different after my accident. Like I think differently. My mental is different. I don't feel like the same person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go through a lot
definitely.
of changes for sure. What I always kind of say when it's my anniversary, because I don't know, I feel weird like Sam celebrating or like doing something. Cause I don't know, I'm not like celebrating my injury, but what I say is I'm celebrating life. Like my family would always go out to dinner or something, and I always try to go out to dinner, do something special to signify it. But to just celebrate living, celebrate still being here. Still still
Yeah,
being on this planet and kicking. Doing my
that
thing.
is what we
And
do.
that is worth celebrating, I think, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's kind of what the show today is about. It's about celebrating life. It's about trying to be positive. Find the silver linings, I guess, sometimes and things.
The silver linings, and it's been even more important this year than ever because we are living in unprecedented times, ladies and gentlemen. We're in the midst of a global
Yeah,
pandemic, and we are stuck at home, and things have been different and weird for everyone. So let's talk about that a little bit. Rachel, how has COVID been for you?
honestly, really hard because, especially moving. I just moved from California to Oregon, and this is my first time ever moving. Like even I grew up the house that I moved from, and it's totally different out here. Like I I don't even know like I don't even know what to say. Like I basically live on like kind of a ranch style home, and I'm used to the city life. I'm a city girl, and it's hard to get used to it. And with the pandemic, to meet people, so I'm feeling very isolated, and I don't know anyone out here. So I have no one to talk to, and I lost you know, I'm sure all of us have lost a lot of friends, and I haven't seen my family much either because of the pandemic, and that's been really hard too. Because I miss them a lot,
Yeah,
and
that's one of the.
being newly injured, it's really that helps me being around my family and friends.
What's your support system like where you're at now? Are you living with some family or?
Well, thankfully, my sister and her family, like my sister, her husband, and my niece, moved up with us. So I get to have a little getaway and go like a couple like feet away, not feet, but she lives on the house next door, and I could just go to her house when I want to get away and just hang out with
Yeah,
her, my niece, and watch her grow up. And it's really cool to see her every day.
yeah. How's it been adjusting to Oregon life? Is it like hard to get around in your wheelchair and stuff with all the rain and the mud?
Yes, it is hard. I have to be mostly in my power chair, but I have been in my manual chair more often, and I've definitely been noticing a difference and a change in my core. I've been getting stronger. Um, and the weather here is, especially being a quad, and we can't like really fluctuate and control our temperatures easy as able-bodied people. It's hard because I would get cold, and then my body would be confused, and I would be having the cold sweats, and I would be thinking that, oh no, I'm getting sick, but then I'd have to figure it out, and it would be so confusing and frustrating and stressing me out, and I just didn't know what to do for a week that was happening, and it was just so frustrating. But now I'm starting to get the hang of it, and yeah, I mean, it's getting to like 20, 30 degrees, and I'm used to 60 degrees. It's cold to me where I used to live. And
Yeah.
what? It's just crazy to me.
Yeah, California kid, like definitely changing
It's super
weather.
tough acclimating to that new environment, especially with the quad, body for sure.
Yeah, I
Do
know
you
I
live
am.
alone?
Go ahead, Tom. Sorry.
No, Rachel, you'll start figuring out what's going to work best for you. It just takes a while. I think that's a big thing that we talk about in our support groups is weather change. Even by 10 degrees, 15 degrees, everyone, definitely can feel the difference. And, it kind of weighs on us. It can really mess with our psyche, especially those who have some hardware in their neck or their back or any other parts of their bodies. Like for myself, I got a bunch of hardware in my leg and my hip. And when it's cold, you definitely feel it a lot different than before.
Oh
Oh,
This
for
yeah.
sure. The cold makes my wrist hurt so bad.
What was that, Rachel?
when you guys are talking, it's kind of making a crackling noise.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
You
I'm
guys are
trying to
hearing
figure.
me?
Yeah, and I'm not sure exactly what that is causing that. To be honest.
I think it may be like since our phone is having a poor connection, I think the audio is just trying to connect or something's getting jumbled. But yeah, I don't know if you want to keep on pushing forward or try to remedy it.
Yeah, what is? I don't know. We're just gonna have to try to go because it's
Yeah,
hard.
no, you just keep on plugging. I got a question for you, Rachel. Do you live alone?
Oh, you muted yourself again,
Oh,
Rachel.
hang on. Sorry, everybody. We're getting some technical difficulties here. Let us see if we can just get this sorted real quick, and we'll get
Yeah,
back to business.
it says you
Uh,
muted yourself again,
Rachel,
Rach.
do you want to try like maybe just hanging up and calling back again and see if that fixes
Oh,
it?
there she went. All right, guys. Well, yeah,
We
we can.
appreciate you
We'll get.
guys hanging with us. And let me give some shout outs. Yo, Grip Life, Peter, Timmy, Caesar, Mickey, Brianna. What's up, everybody? Donna, Sean's mom out there always watching, our number one fan. Really appreciate you being here. Appreciate everyone being here. I hope you all had an awesome Valentine's Day. And I love that you use your wheelchair and the snow shovels.
Oh,
There we
sorry.
go.
Can you hear me?
There
There we
we
go.
go. We got you
Yeah,
back.
Good.
Yeah, the crackling there.
the
Okay,
cracking
what
is
was the
still coming in
question?
from. So we're gonna have to. Yeah. That's it.
Uh,
Um,
can you control her mute on your side?
mine. Yeah.
It
Is that?
do it. Did that fix it?
I think that does temporarily fix it. Okay,
Oh,
so
cool.
something with your mic, Rachel. So I'm just gonna, when you're not talking, I'm gonna keep you muted, and then when you are, I'm gonna unmute you, so you don't have to worry about it as much. Is that cool? You're unmuted now.
Yeah.
All right,
It's a
cool. Yeah,
busy
sorry. I think
podcast today, you guys. Um,
this is the
so Rachel,
podcast. That's it.
what we were gonna ask you before we had the technical difficulties was, do you live with people or live by yourself?
Yes. I live with my mom and dad.
Okay, awesome. Um, and I mean, like, I guess I live alone, so it can get a little lonely during the pandemic. I mean, like, mom and dad are always like great support, but they're definitely not peers, like people your age, like friends that you can hang out with and shoot the shit with and, like talk about that, life stuff, which I imagine can be pretty hard.
Yeah,
Nobody to relate to.
yeah. That's definitely one of the harder things too. I think about the isolation and stuff, and not having people around you, might be like your peers and things. Um, but do you have how often? I know you said your sister and stuff lives up there with you guys next door. Um,
Yeah.
have you been able to make any other friends or anything, or reached out in the spinal cord
Oh,
injury community at
yeah.
all?
Yeah, I am part of the Oregon Spinal Cord Injury um, support group. Well, Spinal Cord Injury um, Institute, whatever, not institute, but there's a group,
Like a
and
rehab facility.
I'm part of that. And I met a guy. His name's Casey, and he's invited me to a couple Zoom meetings. There's monthly Zoom meetings, but there's nobody around my age. Like, they're all older, but and of course, it's hard to meet with the pandemic and everything, which sucks. So frustrating.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's like really hard for a lot of people is like not having that opportunity to even go out and socialize, it's like to even go out and meet new people. It's like super hard to meet new people through like a Zoom hangout. Like I don't know if anybody's like trying to like make some new friends. I'm not saying you can't. It's just there's like it's tough with
Even like,
these virtual
'cause
connections.
I've even been so desperate. I want to say that I've been downloading apps to try and meet people, and like that's getting nowhere too. It's like
Oh yeah, the
some people look
uh,
into chat like treating people, and I don't want to deal with that.
yeah,
yeah.
I found like all the electronic ways to e-connect. They're always difficult. Not saying that it can't happen because I know some people have great success with that, but it can be pretty hard. But until we can get these vaccines rolled out, it is an option for people out there, who are missing connections and stuff. We do have this impressive, incredible virtual space that we can
You know
now
what we should
cohabitate
do?
in and live in. So I really do push people to go out and do that.
What
What
was
were you
that,
saying?
Rachel?
Sorry.
You know,
Sorry,
also
I
there.
was just to say if what we
Uh,
should make is an app for disabled, well, not only disabled people, but for uh, you, paraplegics and quadriplegics um, to connect, like not a dating app, but like to
just like a friend
connect.
connection.
Yeah, like friend connection, like that would be cool because there's nothing like that, and it's hard to get
So they
acquainted with other people, and
they
people want to ask
actually
you questions and they're afraid to.
um I I want to say it's called. We had a presentation actually from a lady that came and presented to our Triumph Ballard group actually about like basically it was like I think it's called Loveability, and it's like a dating app. It's a dating and friend app for people in shares, and for anybody, I guess. But I don't know if it took off initially. I know or if she's still doing it or not. That was like a year or two ago. It was obviously before the COVID happened because we were still doing in person support groups. So yeah, I don't know. But there actually is. I'll have to look into that. Maybe I can even look it up right now while we're doing this. But I think it is
And
called Loveability.
the
Bobby, do you know what I'm
platform
talking
that
about?
the platform that does exist to connect people, especially spinal cord injury people right now, there are a lot of Facebook groups that are just, like spinal cord injury specific and stuff. So, if you are a member of Facebook or that social media platform, you can find, like kind of spinal cord injury specific groups where you can talk with people, but which, it's not a dedicated platform, but it may be something that, works in the meantime.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And it
So
doesn't always, it's funny. COVID for me for isolation was the complete opposite. With so many things um, out there and with the Zoom life now and, learning about how to deal with like YouTube channels like this. And I joined a exercise, Adapt to Perform exercise program one day back in, I think, June or July. And boom, I have a new set of friends from all around the world, a new community that I just touch base with and get to talk to them almost every day. And then now we even have everyone's email. So sometimes we're emailing everybody. And then through that, another exercise program. I still do my Toastmasters via Zoom and connecting that way with lots of people. And so, you can find it within the disabled world or without the disabled world. There's so many things that you can get yourself hooked up with, if it's Meetup or Facebook. You can find, so many options out there, and they're there. It's just finding what suits you best.
yeah.
I
So
don't know if you guys remember that guy I told you guys about, Casey, a part of the Oregon spinal cord injury. I talked to him about I want to start a fitness, like a workout every, I don't know, we're gonna figure that out, but I want to start it like how Sean, like how you were doing, you inspired me. I was like, I want to do that because that was so fun, and I feel like I need to start working out more. I need it'll help
Yo,
other people to work out more.
Killer Queen Honey Fitness about to step in the game.
Yeah,
Check out.
get it great, get it right.
that's awesome. Yeah, no, that's actually good. Yeah, those are anything like that you can join and do is really good. Right now just any type of social uh, online group, is helpful. So let's kind of talk about some of the things Bobby mentioned. A bunch of great things he's been doing and been able to network and stuff during this time. I'm kind of the same way. I've been at least staying somewhat social between with stuff like this and then doing the Triumph support groups. I try to make at least one a week, just to see everybody on there, just to visit and talk and stuff, and then um, reaching out to friends and stuff too. That's another important thing that I think people aren't doing, or maybe were in the beginning, but have kind of just started getting to themselves now and just doing their own thing. That's another something good. But Tom, you have any other?
Yeah, I mean, as far as what I've been doing to stay sane during quarantine, I'm always a big fan of like online learning platforms and things like that. Like that's what I go to a lot. Is like estoy aprendiendo español. Like I've been working on learning Spanish a little bit. I've like been doing some online courses just for like new programming stuff. I'm like always trying to learn just things that interest me. I'm a big fan of video games too, which I've like really kind of gone back into the last couple months. So that I think is a great like pastime during the COVID, just to like get through, an afternoon. And I don't know, for us quads, I really like to, promote it because it's great fine motor, like stuff, and it really is. I mean, I swear, like, like especially newer injured people, grab a controller and like teach yourself how to play and stuff, and learn how dexterous you actually are. It can be pretty cool. Um, and we have awesome support groups that the Triumph Foundation hosts weekly, which I pop into from time to time. Connect with my spinal cord injury family virtually, and I'm very fortunate. I'm buddies like with a bunch of engineers, so we all have like cool computer setups. So the virtual hanging like wasn't really a tough transition for us. Like it's really cool. Like it's really streamlined. Like we can still play video games and do our things all together like we did in person. So, I feel very fortunate, lucky to, have access to, a lot of like this virtual stuff and cool technology and things like that, to keep myself busy. But that's a lot of what I've been doing.
Yeah, that's cool,
And I
man.
think there's, with the support groups we have here for Triumph Foundation, but across the board, I mean, if you go to, I think it's United Spinal and find all the support groups, you can find hundreds of support groups that are online right now. And it's amazing that you can get connected into it. Many
Also,
different ones. It
internet.
just doesn't have to be in your state. It can be in another state. Find out about different people that you might not know, in the sense like you get used to the same people in your same support group. But it's good to venture out and just pop in. And that's the thing about this COVID time. Everybody's so open to want you to come and join, and somebody to learn about you and you learn about them. It's can make the experience much better. And you said it best too, Tom. Online learning. The one thing that I told myself I'm not there. I had looked into it, ready to hit that $500, but I would love to get my athletic training license. And it's just sitting there on my desktop, waiting for me to do. But I've been so busy with everything else, on top of working from home, which has been great and I love. And then with all the fitness that I've gotten myself into, um, and with Toastmasters, and I get to still do my Special Olympic stuff that I get to coach them. So it's right there waiting for me. But that's how busy you can find yourself in this time. And I wasn't this busy last year. I know that for sure. Or in 2019.
How
That's
about you,
good.
Rachel? What have you been doing to pass the time during these COVID days? I mean, I know you've been moving, and so you're also new to your injury, which I imagine is like constant
Yeah.
learning and time consuming. But
Yeah.
what are your hobbies? Like, what do you like to do for fun?
Well, I've been trying to keep myself busy. Honestly, the move um, got me like kind of in a weird kind of mood when I first moved. Like I didn't want to do anything. Like I wasn't really motivated, and it took me forever to get able to be in uh, what's it like get anything done, like get some help and get a doctor and get therapy and all of that taken care of and get all of my doctor's paperwork and everything from California transferred over that still has not even come yet. Like it's a long process. And I'm starting, my dad used to take care of all of my phone calls and everything. And now I'm wanting to be more independent and take care of everything and do all of my appointments. And it is a lot.
Yeah.
I'd be forgetting and I'd be stressing myself out. Like
It can be
I just felt
super
like
overwhelming.
I already forgot like that I didn't call this other specialist that I was supposed to call and make an appointment with. And I'm like so mad at myself because it was supposed to help me, and I could have, I don't know, I just could have easily remembered.
Yeah.
And
Well, I think it's really important. So I coordinate all of my own care and make all my phone calls and do all that stuff too. And it can be super overwhelming. And I get overwhelmed all the time. I mean, I was just like, I mean, it took me like 3 weeks to like call and make my appointments for like my MRI and my like physical therapy that I had coming up. And that was after putting it off since like November and stuff. And it can be really hard to get to that mindset to be motivated and to be productive and to, do that. And it's very easy to like let the overwhelmed feeling like just kind of sit there and like consume you. But the way that I have combated it, and the way that I overcome it is like I know it's a lot of stuff to do. So I'll just take baby steps. Like I'll just if it's hard for me to get started, like I'll just commit to making one phone call that day. Like I'm just gonna call this doctor that day. And if that's all I can do, at least I got that one thing done. I took that one step. And if the next day you can take another step, and then the next day you can take one more step, in a week, in 2 weeks, you're going to have made a lot of progress. So it's very easy to feel like you have to do it all today. You have to do it all right now. And that is not the case. And I think that's like what we really have to do is, to not overwhelm ourselves, is to split it up and to give ourselves some time to take those baby steps and slowly work up that mountain rather than try to sprint, because when we do, we usually slip and fall.
Yeah,
I
dude, that's
cannot
great
answer
advice.
your question.
What was that,
But
Rachel?
to keep myself busy, because I did not answer your question.
Oh, you're good.
To keep myself busy, I'm sorry. I've been doing my, thank you, Brianna, by the way. I have been doing my makeup more, and I recently bought a ring light, which will I want to start a YouTube channel. So um this is wanting me to do it more too, because I just want to help people, like, I don't know, spread the love. I don't know. Just
Absolutely.
show
Yeah.
like that anything can happen. Like, we're unstoppable. Like, we survived crazy things. Like, we survived what no one else could. We survived death. We did.
Yeah.
Like,
And,
and
and,
that's
and we
what
still, every day, survive and overcome things that most people could not even imagine.
yeah, and we go through it every day. We go through a lot every day, and nobody can even imagine or can even bear it, or some people can't go through it. And we're strong enough to go through it. And still, like, some people, like, Bobby, you have so many years under your belt in a good way, and you're so wise, and you teach us so much, and I learned a lot from you, and you were there when I first got my manual chair. I remember. And it's just, we can help people out, and that's just what I want to do.
You know, and thank you for that in the sense that I remember my first 2 years too. It's very overwhelming and it very scary, and all of a sudden something will trigger, and one little thing will start leading to better and better things. And next thing you know, you're not so isolated. You have a direction. It may not be your long-term direction, but you get a direction. And I definitely learned that from, with myself, that my first 2 years, it was just all about rehab, all about getting better, all about having some independence. And then all of a sudden, I started volunteering for our rec therapy department at the hospital where I did my rehab, and went back to school. And, it was just like all of a sudden, next thing I know, boom, I was out there doing things, getting back into playing sports. And that's, the one true love that I found first was giving back to others, because at first I was scared and I didn't know where I was going to go. And I hated the first anniversary. Didn't like the second. I didn't like the third, and by the fourth and the fifth, they was like, okay, you know. They said 5 years from now I would be walking, but okay, you know. And then by the 10th year, next thing I know, I'm having parties, you know, about my anniversary because I liked who I was now. But it, you know, it definitely has its frustrating days, and it definitely can be, you know, very lonely out there. Sometimes you feel like it only happens to you, and you're like, you know, how much can I take?
Yes, exactly.
I think one thing that you said, Rachel, like getting the makeup and stuff and doing that, I think that's a really cool thing, and I wanted to like talk on that for a second because I think direction and finding a place to get started can really be the hardest part of all of this. And like getting up and figuring out what to do and where to go and how to start. Um, and I think a really important thing to remember is it's always important to start on yourself. Um, get things that make you feel good. Surround yourself with stuff that makes you feel happy. Like if you're working towards something like in if it feels good, whether it's makeup or cooking or whatever it is, like whatever those hobbies are. Um, you know, it's really, I think, important to do things that make you feel good and that remind us that we can feel good, especially when we're down and stuff like that. So I really like incentivize people to pursue those hobbies and pursue those passions and stuff, even if they're not your day job or everyday thing. But they're really good starting points that can lead to other positive, amazing things in our lives.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
just like Brianna said, it your mindset has grown so much, Rachel, compared to the first time that we met you to today. I mean, it's amazing how much we've seen you grow over the last, you know, 2 years. It's just you've come a long way, and sometimes it's hard for us to see that when we're dealing with it every day. But from us outsiders,
Yeah.
we can see you just taking off.
Thank you. I just
Yeah,
feel like that's where you have to be. You, I mean, if your mindset is what heals you, and it can break you really bad. And I don't want to get to a dark place. Sometimes I go to a dark place. I mean, I'm sure we all have. But you just have to try and get out of it and do your best. And
when you are there, Rachel, what do you do? If you don't
what?
mind me asking. When you are in that dark place, what do you do to help make yourself feel better? What do you do
Um,
to not stay there?
marijuana.
All right.
Um,
That helps. Yeah.
that um, probably music and being by myself. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you
Being
take
So,
care of yourself, like you do things that
I
make
would
yourself
say
feel good.
being with my niece for sure. That relieves like a lot of stress and it makes me really happy. And I don't think about like, oh, all the bad things, what happened to me, my neck pain or my trap pain and all of that. So I think that's probably what helps me the most. So I don't really have like coping mechanism other than that. What about you guys?
Oh, it sounds like you do have a coping mechanism, even if it's
Yeah.
not like very defined, because you do have some things that you do to make yourself feel better. And I think that's a big part of it. I am a big promoter of like medicinal cannabis as well. Like if I've been in a really funky headspace, like I can like smoke a little weed and kind of chill out and think for a little while and give myself some perspective and move on, like feeling a little bit better. But one thing that I do, I think, is my number one thing that helps me feel good is what you said, Rachel, is I'll surround myself with some family or some good friends. Like I'll call up my sister or, I'll call up my mom or dad, I'll call up one of my good buddies and be like, hey, I need you, like, come on over, or like, we got to do a virtual hang And I've found that like it's very hard for me to, stay down, like if I'm around someone else, like who's feeling better, who's making me feel better. And even after I leave that person, after we're done hanging out or done talking, like I can still feel better. Like I still feel lighter. I still feel some of that darkness, it's like gone away. Um, but whatever it is that makes you feel good, I think is what, you gotta do. Like, if I'm feeling down or I'm feeling funky, like I'll get my favorite food and I'll put on my favorite movie and I'll just, like do some stuff to like make myself feel good. And that sounds kind of cheesy, but if it works, it works.
Yeah, dude, that's
As long as
whatever
it's
works, whatever
not
your thing
hurting.
is. What was that, Rachel?
I said as long as it's not hurting you.
Exactly. Yeah. As long as it's no self harm or harming
Yeah.
anybody else, anything that
Yeah,
really can help is
that
good.
is
Getting
my
too much
big
into
problem.
the getting too much into
And
a drinking or having the lights off too many days. It's good to have a bad day, and to have one of those days where you just kind of, regroup and turn the lights off or just watch TV all day or, read a book all day. Just sit outside. My favorite thing is sitting outside or maybe even just going to the beach and not even doing anything. And that kind of helps me restart my stuff.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Sometimes just getting outside or getting some fresh air. Sometimes, like if
yeah,
I've been like during this last year, when I get too like I'm feeling down and just feeling like I haven't been out or anything, like I'll just go on a drive. For me, it's relaxing. Like I could just drive like 20, 30 minutes out, just take a nice little cruise, scenic, whatever. Like, I don't know. I put music on, just
I'm so
jam
sad we
out.
never got to go in your car. We never got to
I,
go like somewhere.
I know. Yeah. Before Rachel moved, she lived right pretty close to me, and I actually went over, visited, and we hung out a few times.
Oh, I
And I
dreamed
was,
about the days cruising with Sean in his van. Heck yeah.
I know we were supposed to go start doing like outings once she was kind of building up to it, but then she
This
moved. So,
pandemic. But
I wanted
I wish we
to
got to.
touch on a couple comments if that's cool, you guys.
yeah, we've been getting
Damien
quite a few.
I
Dalton,
know
what
that's
up from
cool. I
Western
just love the way
Massachusetts?
this
Thanks for
comment.
shouting us out. You said you're currently looking for more friends in the SEI
Thank
community.
you, Nikki.
I did want to mention to check out some of the Trans Foundation support groups or the United Spinal Injury support groups, like we mentioned earlier. I don't know if you were on to hear that part, but the best place to make other friends in the spinal cord injury community are to get onto some of these support groups and yeah, just put yourself out there and socialize. And next thing you know, you'll have too many of them. I'm just kidding. But
Even
that's
just
how
the
it was for
Facebook groups, even reach out.
Oh,
People put their local locations all the time. You can find local people.
yeah, and the Facebook groups are the
if
other really
there's
great
any,
resource.
real quick, if there's any quadriplegic women, there's a quad girls group on Facebook. Just message me on Instagram or something.
And that's important. That's important stuff because
It's so
ladies
good.
got a lot of different problems and a lot of different stuff to talk about than guys. So
Yeah.
finding like an exclusive ladies group and stuff could be really beneficial out there. I think for any quad ladies who might not have many friends in that community and stuff. But it goes same for everybody. Um, if you feel like you want to reach out and start meeting some other people, especially in the spinal cord injury community, check out those resources, and you will have plenty in no time, I'm sure.
And let's shout out too for as far as women's stuff goes. So tomorrow, I know Triumph has a women's group, as well as Resilient Quad Tammy, who's one of she's been on the show several times on my show, with Brianna on the women's show. She has her own YouTube and Resilient Wednesdays tomorrow, and then on Thursday, Brianna's hosting the women's show here on Live to Roll. So these next few days for women with SCI, there's a lot going on if you guys want to reach
Represent
out and connect
ladies after
to
All
any
that.
of
about
these
the women.
ladies here. Yeah, all about the women. So yeah, there's a bunch. These next few days are definitely a big time for the women's disability stuff. So
And I also
That's
just
going to be
wanted to
great.
give a quick shout out. He's here every week and is just like one of our regulars. Crip Life, he's got a YouTube channel too, which I did not know about, bro. I'm gonna check it out after the podcast. But I wanted to shout out Crip Life's YouTube channel. He's always chatting with us in the chat, so definitely go check his channel out.
and
Oh,
also
Tom, you
one
have
more.
to.
We
It's a great show, just hanging out. And, he always has a lot of fun on his show. So definitely
That's
check
so
it
cool.
out.
I'm like so sad I haven't seen it. I'm gonna go
Yeah,
like
dude, we'll have to definitely all check it out. So my bad, I haven't checked that out either, dude. And then also the Angry Quad. He's also Sean. He's got a YouTube channel as well. I just put his thing on there too. He's been on here as well a bunch of times, and he's got a channel as well. If anybody wants to check that out, or you might already be following, but yeah. So those are all the YouTube shout outs. We do got it's a community, SCI community, YouTube, like we're all part of it. We're all together, we got to help each other
um,
grow.
Damien asked where we live. I'm in Southern California. Me, Sean, and Bobby are all in Southern California, and Rachel just moved to Oregon
From Southern California, but
from Southern California.
now she's in Oregon. Oops,
So I
what's
got
the
another
name?
question for Rachel.
Oops.
Let's get her
What?
on message.
Yep.
Are- Rachel, are you single?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you in a relationship? Are you single?
No, I'm not.
Are you currently seeking that out,
Um,
or are you just
I'm
kind of living the single life?
happy that happens, but I mean, I would like. I mean, of course, I like to be intimate. I like attention. I like male attention or female, but um,
The
yeah.
main
But yeah,
reason I brought it up is because it's so hard to meet people in this post-pandemic world, and we've been talking about like dating and relationships a lot this month because it's like Valentine's month or whatever. So I just was curious, like how that was like adjusting after your injury. If it has it been difficult meeting people, or has that really not been much of a thought?
I mean, it's pretty difficult. Like I was really embarrassed. I'm not gonna lie. I'm still kind of embarrassed about my injury, and I'm shy, and like it's it's different. Like it's really different,
Yeah.
and it sucks, and I don't understand why. And I don't think it should be so different, but whatever. People are weird, and
I
it's
I'm with you 1,000% on that because
it just
I
doesn't
really
make
struggle
sense.
from the same thing.
Like you see my face, it looks like this, but my leg, just because I can't walk, it's just, oh, no one talks to me. It's just like, as soon as I tell them, like, it's just, okay, cut you off, or I stop getting replies, or they just act different. Like, it's just weird. Or the things that people ask you, like, or they'll just be like, 'cause I'm on a few dating apps just for, I'm bored. So, and if
Yeah,
if something happens, then something happens, but and so like people will be like, "Why are you in that chair?" And it's like, "Why you don't have to ask me like that?" I'll be like,
yeah,
"Why
that's
are you
people.
like that?" Like what? Like what kind of question is that? Like you could ask it a total different way. Like it just depends on your words. And words can be hurtful, but I don't let it phase me. I don't
words
know,
can be
but
hurtful,
here's
but
the
yeah,
thing.
no, good for you for being strong and not letting that stuff phase you. The internet is a scary place, unfortunately, and like the
It,
online dating and stuff. I think it gives people kind of an anonymous platform to be a little bit, more insensitive or to be more crass than they would, be maybe in person. And I'm not saying everyone is like that, but that's definitely been my experience online. like online dating and like trying to meet people in that space. It's a lot of rudeness or just strange questions, or people like find out like what about my disability, and I'm just like, no, like we're not gonna talk to you anymore. Like you're never gonna hear from me again. Like no bye, no nothing. So I'm like so thankful and happy to kind of be out of
But
that
you know,
online space. Yeah.
what's annoying is that I don't know if you guys have had this problem too, or like have felt this way. Like they'll ask, like I'll be like, I don't care, like ask me anything, like I'm an open book, and like they'll ask me a question. I feel like sometimes I might overshare, like, cause I just want you to know, like, this is what happens and this is why or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, like, I won't, like, they'll read it and don't reply, or like they won't even open it or won't respond, or respond hours later, and I'm like, did I scare you off, or like what happened? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just be overthinking too much, maybe too.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Well,
it's hard for any of us to be like in a chair, and especially as a quad. And I think
Sean,
for
as our
women, it's
resident,
gotta be. What's that?
I said, as our other resident bachelor, I'm gonna put you on the spot, bro. Like, what's your experience been like with all this?
With what, like online dating and stuff, or just
Online dating, isolation, and like, is like been something you've been like put on hold during quarantine? Or are you still like out there doing the online
so.
date thing? Or
I've kind of recently started again, um, and I didn't for a while during quarantine. I was just like, what's the point, Like, I don't want to go out and meet some random person, like that. Like I don't know, like it just. I don't know. I put it off for a while, but just recently I have been like, all right, like I might as well. It's not going to end soon, so like, I should try, I guess.
yeah, yeah,
So I
for
have
sure.
been a little bit lately, um, but yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's. I openly put like right there, like I, my first picture is my face, but then it's me in a wheelchair, like you can see, like. So like I'll at least try to get you to stop for my face maybe, or if they don't even read the profile, I guess I might get a swipe. But
I was like,
but
bam, wheelchair.
um, what's that, Rachel?
I was like, but then it's like, bam, wheelchair.
Yeah, once they see the wheelchair. So like that's why I put it right there though. It's like I just figure at least then I weed them out right off the bat for the most part. But I can tell some that probably do swipe yes before actually like looking or reading the profile. And then just like once I reply and they read the profile or like look like, oh, never mind. But
Yeah, they
uh,
message you without all the information, and then it's like, oh,
yeah, yeah. Like I've had people like message, and then like I'm like I'll see a little thing like, oh, they looked at your profile, and then like they won't reply after that. Like, how? So that was the first time they actually looked. Okay, which I feel like for girls you probably get even more of. Like for Rachel, like I'm sure like guys are ridiculous. I'm sure on most of the apps they're like,
oh gosh,
Yeah,
I know. I feel
you
so
know what I
bad
mean?
for you women
You know what
because,
I mean?
like, I don't know, dude. Like, guys are terrible.
uh,
But they don't know how to have a conversation, and most of them really just want one thing, you know.
yeah.
So it's a waste of time.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so like as a woman, are they asking you right away like about that, or are they just not
They're
even?
pretty bold on these um, apps.
Yeah,
So I'd be like, okay, well, at least you didn't waste no time. So now I don't have to waste my time. So goodbye.
Yep.
You
Bye
know?
bye.
um, yeah. So yeah, so that's essentially been my experience. So it's been decent, but there's definitely like I know I don't get. I know a lot of people go like don't want to don't like swipe right or whatever because of the chair, like it's but that's fine because if that's a problem right off the bat for them, then that's obviously like it's not gonna really
It's
get better for
inevitable.
somebody like that, like it's like if they're not into it, they're not into it, like, and if they're willing to at least look and read and like give you a chance to get to know you, then that's cool, then you can like build off of that. But if they're not even willing to give you the chance, then it doesn't matter. Like that, yeah. Better to let that go.
Yeah, and I mean, when I said that like online dating is terrible, I had some positive experiences with it. I met like a couple really kind, awesome people that like I went out with and stuff, and it was cool. It's not all bad, so I'm not trying to dissuade people from doing it because there are nice people in this world still, and some of them are also on the online dating space. It's just I want you to be prepared for the craziness and the ugliness of it too because there's unfortunately more of that than there is the good stuff. But online dating isn't all bad, and there's some really good apps out there. I think you just have to kind of be picky and choosy with what you use and the seriousness you take it with, and yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I would just say be careful too, because especially for us quads and for Rachel, for a girl, it's probably worse. But like the devotees, like the you got to watch out for some of them. They're people definitely out there trying to prey on.
I've never gotten anyone yet.
What was that,
And
Rachel's?
What was that, Rachel?
I said I've never gotten anyone yet. Like no devotees or.
Oh, you haven't. That's good.
that's
But
good. Be wary. I mean, I've been messaged by every kind of person there is. I feel like I've even talked to every kind of person there is. And I don't think like even all of those people are inherently bad. It's just
No, not at all.
you
It
need to
just
be like very clear of like everyone's intentions and stuff. Like you said, a lot of people are on this thing looking for one thing, and it's not a relationship. And that can be scary and weird. So just protect yourself is the point that I think we're all trying to make.
definitely. Yeah. So.
Did we have any questions from the comments that
I was just
anybody,
looking through that. Yeah.
anything that anybody wanted to ask that was running through their mind?
I think a lot of people are just saying that, yeah, online dating is pretty tough and it
Yeah.
can be hard out there sometimes. And it kind of blows. So I'm lucky I didn't have to go down that path. I wasn't really popular back in the day. And then I got lucky the way I met my wife. So
Yeah. That's what. Hopefully, I'll.
that's what I'm nervous about. I'm like I should be at least starting to settle down by now. Well, not no. Wait,
You're
I was
still young,
thinking
Rachel.
not.
You're still way young. You got lots of.
No, but when I was
lots of time.
Oh my
no, when I
God,
was
yeah.
younger, I was like I wanted to start settling down for sure by 25. I said that. Like I don't know why. I was like 25 for sure. I am.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, just don't
Yeah,
try
I
to
don't know.
force it
It's
and rush
saying like
anything.
don't force her, don't rush it. I think when it'll happen, it'll happen. Um,
I'm
you
enjoying
know,
enjoying
but
my life
yeah.
being single.
Um,
We got a few questions. Anybody reading any good books during the pandemic from Wade? I
yeah.
haven't done much reading.
If
But
you guys don't mind me being a nerd for a second, really great
you,
epic fantasy series. It's called The Stormlight Archives by Brandon Sanderson. The fourth book just came out, and I just finished it. It was amazing. But they're heavy books. They're like 1,500 pages. Like they're crazy. So be
wow.
warned. Um,
Yeah, that's
but really awesome if you can get into it. And they cover a lot of issues of like mental health and like really cool topics in kind of a fantasy space. But that's my recommendation.
Bobby. Have you read
I've
anything?
been, I've been trying to power through a David Baldacci. He's got a bunch of different books, but I'm reading a series called Memory Man that I got hooked on. So I'm on the third book out of five. And then another one I started just by accident. I found it. It was kind of another one of these like uh, ultra life or a different, you get caught up and you buy yourself into a different world or something like that. I just started it, but it seems like it's going to be a good one. It's called One More Last Time. I gotta let me look up the author, but it's a it started off pretty good, so I got hooked right away. So I'm kind of like doing 2 books at the same time right now, so that's been fun.
That's cool. Rachel, are you reading anything? I personally am not.
I want to do like the podcast. I like podcasts. I like listening to stuff. I don't really like reading.
Are you
love my
listening to any good
podcast.
podcasts?
I haven't yet, but I want to find a good podcast or like an audio book. I'll follow along, but I don't really like sitting. I'm not gonna go out and buy a book. I don't know. Like it depends on what topic it is.
I really think audiobooks are great. A lot of people are busy. A lot of people commute and stuff. And audiobooks can be amazing time passers for people who, just like to do stuff with their hands and don't necessarily sit there and turn a page. Audiobooks can be great. So really cool, fun thing to do if you want to get into
And
it.
it also can make it a lot easier to read books or get through books if you don't have the hand dexterity. So it's like, I want to start reading more, and it's sometimes it's hard to hold the book in your hand and flip another page and then drop the book out of your lap or whatever. So audiobooks is a great way to go. It's one way I do it as well, especially at night when I need to relax. I just get an audiobook. But also podcasts are just great. It's kind of like the new YouTube sensation of how to in many ways, learning about history and learning about our country, learning about just many different topics that you can almost like imagine getting how to get involved with certain things and hobbies and things like that. So it's kind of a new way to go.
It's good to obviously just work your brain.
Yeah, that's what I think. I've listened to a few podcasts, ones that were more. I like the informative, like historical ones that like true real life type of things. I can't think of the names of the couple I've listened to, but they're cool. That was what I was going to say too, Bobby. For me, the issue with reading for a lot of times is one, the dexterity of turning, but also I have issue like when I'm just down, my head down reading, like I need to buy something to elevate the book or whatever, because I just get like after an hour of reading, my neck is just like, oh my god, like so
I used
sore.
to get so pissed
Looking
off.
at your phone or your iPad is the same way. You're like this.
Yeah,
Oh,
iPhone
man.
neck, right?
It's the same thing, but so like with my phone, like I'll notice after like 5-10 minutes, like oh my god, like try to stretch my neck and like lean back and like take a few minute break. With reading, sometimes you're into it, so you're like you just keep going. Like that's what my issue was. Like I would end up like really sore. So
I would always
I
see
gotta
my
figure it.
sister laying on her back in bed, like holding the book up above her head, and I would get so jealous. I'd be like, God damn it,
Yeah, I
why
can't do
I
that.
Oh, it's great though. So the podcast that I listen to, shout him out. It's like an engineering podcast by this guy Lex Friedman. For any nerds out there, it's really cool. And then I listen to a comedy podcast called "This Is Important," and it's by the guys who did that show Workaholics on Comedy
Oh,
Central.
those guys are awesome.
Four dudes, and it is hilarious. It's topical. It's not all funny stuff, but it's like really great, cool. Like
What's that one called, Tom?
called "This Is Important."
Okay. You want? I'm actually gonna check that out.
And
Those guys are hilarious.
Wade Johnson just said great courses are pretty good. That's actually what I use for my online learning. So shout out great courses. Really affordable, cool platform for anybody interested in. And they have topics like you could study anything from history to politics to math and science, literally like whatever it is, they got it. So it's really cool. And
Yeah.
thank you everybody that was here today. Our chat was popping. We got 30 people here. I think it's because they all wanted to come and hang out with Rachel, which
know.
is fine because we're, me, Sean, and Bobby are kind of lame. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, we've had, and everybody's been really active in the chat and stuff today too. So that's great.
Also,
Appreciate you
We
guys.
appreciate you guys.
don't forget to hit that like button. We got 28 people watching, 21 likes, so make sure you hit that like.
Yeah, and everybody follow Rachel on Instagram, Killer Queen Honey. It's in the description below. Yeah, Brianna
And
says she
if
listens to
you're
Live to Roll. Yeah, Brianna.
if you're feeling lonely, out there, don't have anybody to talk with. You want like some resources for places to connect. You just need someone to talk to. Give us all a shout out. Me, Sean, Rachel, or Bobby. I think I'm more than happy to talk to anybody who's feeling lonely and having a hard time. So don't hesitate. Talk to you. And yep.
And then
Thanks for
also
watching.
just one last time, I just want to shout out tomorrow, Resilient Wednesdays with Tammy. Thursdays Thursday we have Brianna and the Women's Disability Show. She has some great guests and great topics this week. So just everybody check that out. And yeah, like we said, reach out. And yeah, we'll see everybody.
Check out all the ladies' content.
Yeah, check out all the ladies' content. Whoops. And we will see you guys next week. And Bobby's the last
Take
one.
care.